This episode of Off The Script is brought to you by WrestleCrate. WrestleCrate is a monthly pro wrestling-based subscription service, and each month, subscribers will receive a new pro wrestling-themed mystery crate. To go and subscribe, please go and visit their website at www.wrestlecrate.com and on Twitter at WrestleCrates. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and this is your number one source for WWE news and rumors right here on YouTube.com. This is Off The Script, episode number 64, part number 1 to start your weekends off the right way, man. If you're seeing this in your sub boxes, thank you so much for joining me right here on Off The Script. A ton of news to go over with you guys, and I want to talk about Sami Zayn as well, being that his name has been in the headlines all week regarding his singles match debut on Monday Night Raw. I know I didn't do a Monday Night Raw review, and you guys have been asking me, JD, what did you think of Sami Zayn versus John Cena? What did you think of the atmosphere regarding that United States Championship match that happened on Monday Night Raw? I will talk about that, as I do have a lot of news regarding Sami Zayn and if he is on the main roster. Is he really injured? What's going on with NXT? I got a lot of news, so don't go anywhere. Grab a cold beverage. And before I get into the news, guys, I do want to say thank you. My WWE 2K15 video, I don't know what the fuck I did, but I want to thank you guys so much, man. Those are the views that we should be doing on my 2K15, my career mode with 9 to 5. If you missed the last episode, which was completely fucking biblical, 9 to 5 and Brock Lesnar one-on-one in one of the best matches you'll see on 2K15. Link is down below in the description, all right? And if you guys missed Off The Script last weekend, go catch up on that as well, as YouTube was going through some new algorithm changes, and a lot of you guys missed Sunday's episode. That is all down below in the description, okay? Now, let's get on with the news and rumors, guys. I don't want to take too much of your time. Going to start off with a few pieces of information that really aren't headline grabbing, but I want you guys to know that it's out there, all right? Chris Jericho will likely to return to the WWE this summer. While he cannot confirm, or we can't confirm, that a deal is in place, we have heard that his name has come up in creative meetings. So WWE would like to utilize Chris Jericho this summer. Will he be on TV? That remains to be seen. But his name, according to reports, has come up in creative meetings. Maybe something to do with this year's SummerSlam in Brooklyn, New York. Bad News Barrett was seen nursing his shoulder backstage, which obviously throws up a red flag. We are assured that it's nothing serious, according to reports. Ryback was praised for saving his promo on Monday Night Raw and how he controlled the Montreal crowd throughout that segment. Both Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose received rave reviews for their match, to the point where people were applauding when they got to the back. And yes, it was a damn good fucking match on Monday Night Raw, okay, which led to Dean Ambrose now being included in the Payback main event, which will now make it a fatal four-way. I do have news on that as well, and why it was changed. I reported it last week as to why the WWE locker room thinks Dean Ambrose is underutilized. I got the news story on that as well regarding Dean Ambrose. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this Off The Script Part 1 for number 64. New reports have provided some backstage news on Sami Zayn, if he is now part of WWE's main roster or not. As previously reported, Zayn had his first ever Monday Night Raw singles match on May 4th in his hometown of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. This was not his Raw debut. If you guys realized, last year he was in a tag team match mixed with other NXT superstars such as Neville, Tyler Breeze, and Hideo Itami, okay? This was his first singles match, not his Monday Night Raw debut. Just want to let you guys know about that, all right? So on May 4th, he answered John Cena's open challenge to a United States Championship match. Zayn would get a main roster debut with much fanfare as the hometown crowd went crazy for the former NXT champion. WWE Hall of Famer Bret the Hitman Hart was even brought to the show to introduce Zayn on the big stage. Feeling the energy of the crowd, however, Zayn seemingly threw out his shoulder during his entrance before the match even began, resulting in the referee stopping the match just a few minutes in so that a ringside medic could come and assess the situation. Zayn finished the match and looked great against Cena, especially with only one arm being 100%, but is slated to get an MRI on his shoulder, which took place May 5th. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer radio show claims that Zayn is scheduled for more television, meaning he is supposed to now be on the main roster. Meltzer goes on to say he doesn't know if this means he'll be working Raw, SmackDown, and NXT simultaneously from this point on, or just until NXT's next big event, NXT TakeOver Unstoppable, airs on the WWE Network on May 20th. Zayn is slated to face longtime friend and rival Kevin Owens for the NXT Championship during NXT TakeOver Unstoppable, and if he's healthy enough to compete, it may be his last match for NXT. As previously noted, WWE wanted to bring up Zayn, Neville, and former NXT Women's Champion Charlotte to the main roster in 2015. Neville made his debut following WrestleMania 31, and now Zayn on May 4th. Charlotte, who Vince McMahon reportedly wants on the main roster ASAP, is likely the next NXT superstar to make that transition. Following Zayn's MRI on May 5th, the world will know more about when and where to expect Zayn's next match to be. If he appears during SmackDown during the tapings on May 5th, he's obviously going to be able to continue working and making waves on the main roster as soon as Thursday. Now, regarding that MRI, WWE is reporting that Sami Zayn is set to undergo MRI on his shoulder on May 5th. As noted earlier, Zayn made his second appearance on Monday Night Raw on May 4th, answering John Cena's open challenge for the United States Championship in a losing effort. Zayn appeared to tweak his shoulder during his entrance to the bout, which was in grand fashion. After Cena had opened the challenge for any competitor in the back, WWE Hall of Famer Bret Hart came down to the ring to introduce the hometown hero. However, he would be cut off by Heath Slater, who wanted to try to yet again be the one to best John Cena for the United States Championship. However, Slater's plans would not come to be as Hart took out the one-man band with a blow to the head with a microphone. He then introduced Zayn, which garnered one of the biggest pops from a WWE crowd in 2015. Zayn would come down to the ramp so fired up that he went to pump up the crowd as he normally does on the ring steps. It looked as if he suffered some discomfort in his shoulder. However, he acted like nothing was wrong. Then he began the match. A few minutes into the competition, Zayn stayed down on the mat following a slam from Cena, where he landed more on his left shoulder, the one that was aggravating him to begin with. A WWE medic rushed in to check on the number one contender for the NXT Championship, as he claimed he was fine, although it would be obvious that something was bothering him for the remainder of the match. Following his loss, Cena picked up Zayn and applauded him for being who he is, and cleared the ring to let him revel in the applause of his hometown crowd. Good work on John Cena. However, Zayn was quite disturbed by the feeling in his shoulder and looked to be upset. WWE has provided the following comment on the matter. NXT superstar Sami Zayn suffered a shoulder injury during his United States Championship match against John Cena on Raw. Zayn, who answered the champion's open challenge in defense of his title, was tended to by the WWE officials during that match after appearing to aggravate his shoulder, yet he continued to finish it and finish the contest despite the injury. WWE.com can confirm that Zayn will be undergoing an MRI on his upper body tomorrow and will determine the nature of and extent of this injury. As of right now, Zayn is still slated to face NXT champion Kevin Owens in a championship match on May 20th on NXT TakeOver, and this injury could merely be an angle for that match. However, it did look like Zayn injured himself during his ring entrance. Now, I'm going to actually find the article right now, live on Off The Script, where it says an update right now regarding Sami Zayn and his main roster, okay? Now, let me see. Do I have any news? Do I have any news article right now? Apparently nothing right now, okay? There is nothing right now regarding that MRI. If I hear anything regarding the MRI, I will definitely let you guys know on Off The Script, okay? But he is not the only NXT superstar that has been injured, okay? Devastating, and I mean devastating news regarding NXT and Hideo Itami. Zayn is not the only one injured. Itami is the latest NXT superstar to bite the bullet with a major injury. According to a report by PWInsider.com, Itami will miss the next 6 to 8 months with a bad shoulder injury. He's currently scheduled to face Finn Balor and Tyler Breeze in a triple threat match at NXT TakeOver Unstoppable on May 20th. The winner will then be the new #1 contender for the NXT Championship, currently held by Kevin Owens. Itami defeated Tyler Breeze during a May 6th edition of NXT on the WWE Network. Sami Zayn will also likely be pulled from the next TakeOver special after potentially tearing his rotator cuff on Monday Night Raw during a WWE Championship match with John Cena for the United States Championship. Alex Riley is also out of action after undergoing knee surgery. Devastating news right now for NXT, okay? Devastating news. Itami will be out for the rest of the year. I don't know what this means for NXT TakeOver and their special airing on May 20th called Unstoppable. I don't know. But NXT TakeOver right now looking very, very thin. It looks like it's in jeopardy. The main matches on the card may be in jeopardy come May 20th. This is really going to push the limits of the creative writers. This is really going to push the limits of Triple H. And this is going to push the limits of NXT as a brand. How deep is their roster? How many guys right now are going to be willing to step up and take the place of Hideo Itami, who has been in the spotlight for so many months? Who is going to step up and take that spotlight while he's gone until he comes back? This is an opportunity for a lot of guys to just say, you know what? Give me the fucking ball. I'm going to run with it. Now, I don't wish injury upon anybody. I don't. But you got to look at this, being that it's very negative right now because Itami is one of their biggest guys. Breeze is one of their biggest guys. Zayn is one of their biggest guys. And Breeze just came off an injury himself. He was out for many, many months, okay? What's his name? Kevin Owens was working injured, and he had a broken nose, and he dealt with that. So this is really going to be pushing the limits of NXT as a roster in general, as a whole. Zayn is another story, man. I don't know. This is one of those freak things that happened on Monday Night Raw. I really didn't know watching that he injured his shoulder during the entrance. When the referee came out and the medic came out to stop the match, then I was like, you know what the fuck's going on? WWE really doesn't go that far when someone is injured. It's usually just the referee. There's no ringside medic. But Sami Zayn, you got to give it to him, you know, stayed cool. He went through the match and everything was fine, and it was a great match on Monday Night Raw for the United States Championship. What I said on Monday Night Raw regarding Zayn, Zayn is going to be a superstar no matter what. Zayn has the look. Zayn has the overall being of a WWE superstar to be successful, no matter what Vince Russo says, because Vince Russo was on record saying that Sami Zayn is not going to be the next big star in WWE. I don't know, I didn't listen to it, but I'm sure it has to do with his size and Vince McMahon not liking the smaller wrestler like a Neville and a Zayn and a Breeze and a Bryan, etc., etc. I'm sure it has to do with that. You got to overlook that. It's a different time and a different age, man. People want to see guys like Zayn. People want to see guys like Neville and Balor and Kevin Owens, man. They don't like to see these big muscle-bound guys anymore. We don't want to see Khali's and Big Show and Kane and Batista. We don't want to see that type of guy, man. It's a different time and a different age. We want to see guys like I previously mentioned, okay? Guys who can go in the ring and suspend our belief for a good 30 minutes and just entertain us with the amount of work that goes into putting on a great wrestling match. That's all we want to see. And that's all the crowd nowadays wants to see, man. NXT's been very vocal, okay? Montreal, very vocal. These are wrestling cities. These are wrestling cities, man. Everywhere else the WWE goes, people sit on their hands and just stay quiet. They don't know what the fuck they're watching. They don't know who to cheer for. And it's usually, they're cheering for what WWE is shoving down their throat. Oh, the Roman Reigns. Oh, the Randy Ortons. Oh, the John Cenas. Everywhere else you go, people want to see the Punks and the Bryans and the Zayns and the Nevilles, etc., etc., etc. So, the WWE Universe is very split on what they want to see. Seriously, if you really think about it, they're split on what they want to see. Now, as far as Zayn's introduction to the main roster, and I know you guys have been watching me. Several of you have been watching me for very long. What did I say months ago on how to introduce the guys in NXT to the main roster? You bring them up when the time is right, and you put them against top talent. If you wanted to bring up a Tyler Breeze, if you wanted to bring up a Finn Balor, if you wanted to bring up a Sami Zayn, you put him in a situation that you know he will thrive in, and you put him in a situation against the very best on your main roster. Why? Because automatically he's going to be made. Why? Automatically he's going to be recognized because he's in the same ring as a Cena, as an Orton, as a Ziggler, etc., etc. This was the perfect situation to build Sami Zayn in front of a live Monday Night Raw crowd. Now, people know who he is. If they didn't, obviously he's from Montreal. The crowd knew who he was beforehand because they were chanting when John Cena was on the microphone. But now you know who he is. As a viewer watching at home, Sami Zayn is a fucking beast. Okay, this is exactly what needed to be done, and kudos to WWE for doing the right thing when it came to introducing Sami Zayn. Now, potentially, he has what it takes to go on from show to show and build on that momentum. Look at what's going on with Neville, man. You know, Neville really wasn't introduced like Sami Zayn was. But Neville is getting over because people can associate with him. People want to see that from a face. People love his high-flying offense. People can relate because he's the smaller guy trying to overcome the odds in a big man's world in WWE on Monday Night Raw. Okay? And if he continues to put on great matches like he has been, he's going to garner the respect and the admiration from everybody, regardless of his size, regardless of how WWE is going to push him. You gotta understand that. Same thing's going to happen with Zayn. Zayn is going to follow in the footsteps of Neville on the main roster and be successful. This is your future. This is your future for Monday Night Raw. This is your future for SmackDown. WWE really needs to hone these guys and build them because this is what you've invested in all these years down in NXT. You can't turn your back on them now. These are your superstars. These are the guys you need to make into the future. No matter if you don't like their look or their body type, whatever. This is the future. This is what Triple H has been molding. And if you trust Triple H with NXT and the guys that he's built down there, you're going to trust him on bringing them up to the main roster and having them succeed. Why it didn't happen with the Ascension, I don't know. But WWE really needs to get on that ball with the Ascension and start building them up. But beautiful way, perfect way, WWE introduced Sami Zayn on Monday Night Raw in front of Montreal against John Cena for the United States Championship. Can you imagine if he won it? We all knew he wasn't because John Cena is going into a match with Rusev, last man standing at Payback. But can you imagine if he won it? Sucks that he got injured. And I know he was excited. It's a freak fucking accident that he blew out his shoulder. And he may need rotator cuff surgery, man. God knows how long he's going to be out if it really is that serious. To add that, Itami, like I reported, is out 6 to 8 months. Breeze was out a very long time with an injury. Okay, so NXT right now is in trouble. You know, in general, they're in trouble because I don't know how deep their roster really is. If they're going to bring in Samoa Joe, obviously that will alleviate the pain. That will put a Band-Aid on everything. But, you know, I don't know what this is going to mean for Unstoppable on May 20th. We're just going to have to wait and see. The last thing I want is guys getting injured because we're all waiting with bated breath to see these guys move up to the main roster. We're all waiting for the next NXT special that you know is going to be off the charts. Fucking 10 out of 10. So that's what's going on with Sami Zayn. If I hear anything regarding his MRI and the status of him on the main roster and how long he's potentially going to be out, I will definitely let you guys know this weekend on Off the Script. But that is my thoughts on Sami Zayn, and you guys wanted to know what I thought about it. That's exactly what I would have said on Monday Night Raw Review, because there was really nothing else on Monday Night Raw Review that really needed to be discussed, okay? The only other thing that needed to be discussed was that WWE Payback and the main event has now been changed to a Fatal 4-Way, okay? If you guys watch Monday Night Raw, you know about that. As previously reported, the original main event for the pay-per-view was a triple threat match between current WWE Champion Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns. However, Dean Ambrose has now been added to the fold, making the match a Fatal 4-Way. During the May 4th edition of Monday Night Raw, WWE DOO, Director of Operations, Kane, made Rollins compete in a match with Ambrose. After much bickering from Rollins about the decision, Kane, who's been at odds with Rollins for weeks, decided to add a stipulation to the match. The stipulation stated that if Ambrose won the match, he would be added to the triple threat WWE World Heavyweight Championship match at WWE Payback. After a 20-minute match of the year candidate, many people were calling, Ambrose scored the pinfall with the roll-up, effectively securing his spot in the title match come May 17th. Reigns, Orton, Ambrose, and Rollins now will face off for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at Payback on May 17th. The only other currently advertised contest on the card is an I Quit match for the United States Championship between John Cena and Rusev, which Lana, I'm sure, will have heavy implications on deciding that outcome, okay? Now, why was Dean Ambrose added to the main event? Well, like I reported last week on Off the Script, if you guys watched, new reports have provided backstage news on why Dean Ambrose was added to the main event at Payback on May 17th. As previously reported, it was announced that Ambrose would be making the originally advertised WWE Heavyweight Championship match, a triple threat match, into a Fatal 4-Way during the May 4th edition of Raw. Ambrose defeated current champion Seth Rollins during the broadcast to be added to the match, making it Rollins, Ambrose, Orton, and Reigns in the main event. This addition of Ambrose led many fans wondering why he was included in the title picture when he was thrown into the mix. The latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter claims that the addition of Ambrose was a last-minute decision on the part of WWE officials. Advertisements on cable television were still running, promoting the triple threat match as late as May 6th since the announcement. WWE may be adding Ambrose as a means to turn either the Lunatic Fringe or Reigns heel at Payback. The impression is that WWE needs more credible main event heels, and Ambrose or Reigns turning would be easy to do in a Fatal 4-Way match. Orton could always turn heel, but given that he just returned as a babyface a few months ago, Ambrose or Reigns making the switch seems more likely. Also, there were reports going around that many top WWE superstars and officials backstage were complaining that Dean Ambrose was underutilized. That right there coincides with what I reported last week. Now, those people who went to complain saying Ambrose was underutilized, obviously those creative people listened. Vince McMahon, Triple H listened, and now he is in the main event for Payback for the WWE Championship. So, now we have a Fatal 4-Way, and like reports say, possibly Ambrose or Reigns turning heel. If I had to choose one or the other, I think Reigns would be better to turn heel. I like Ambrose as a face. I would rather the WWE build momentum for him that they lost several months ago by just having him float around doing meaningless things around WWE, man. You know, he was a psychotic fucking fool. He was clowning around with Seth Rollins. He was in a meaningless feud with Dean Ambrose. Nothing was explained. And then all of a sudden, he got thrown into an Intercontinental Championship feud. He was challenging John Cena for the United States title the next night after WrestleMania. I don't know what was going on with Ambrose. WWE killed off his momentum, and I wish WWE would now really see that they have something special in Ambrose and just build on that again. All right? Bring him back to the Lunatic Fringe, man. Dean Ambrose, his character is very simple to book. You have him be a psychotic motherfucker like Brian Pillman, but Pillman was a heel. Ambrose is popular. Ambrose is adored by the WWE audience. You don't want to switch him like that. Reigns is the one who's getting mixed reactions, man. It's going to be easier for Reigns to make that transition if you want to switch him. So I think Reigns right now is the best solution there if you want to pick someone and create a main event type heel, Reigns is your guy. I say keep Dean Ambrose as a face right now in the WWE. But that is off the script, guys. A lot of news regarding many of your favorites on the main roster. Itami out 6 to 8 months. Sami Zayn getting an MRI on his shoulder for a possible torn rotator cuff after his great debut singles match on Monday Night Raw against John Cena for the United States Championship. Dean Ambrose was added to the Fatal 4-Way, making it a Fatal 4-Way at Payback because officials realized that he was being underutilized and that WWE needs top heels, with potentially Ambrose or Reigns turning heel during that main event. And a bunch of other shit that I'm sure we'll get to this week on Off the Script. I got a news story on Vince McMahon possibly losing his sight or his vision, and that he needed help on Monday Night Raw, walking down the rampway. I got a weird news story on that. I got a news story on Michelle Beadle no longer supporting WWE because WWE and Triple H outwardly supported Floyd Money Mayweather during his boxing match on this past weekend. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I got a news story on Michelle Beadle no longer supporting WWE. I got a big news story on The Undertaker's WWE contract expiring, so don't go anywhere in regards to that. I also got a news story on TNA. Yes, you guys who think Dave Meltzer hates TNA and spreads lies about TNA. I got a weird news story again regarding Impact Wrestling, and that Destination America regrets signing TNA to a multi-year, multi-million-dollar deal with their television program or with their cable network. I don't know what's going on with TNA, man, but a lot of wrestlers right now are unhappy also, according to Dave Meltzer. I got news on Samoa Joe. I got a bunch of news stories coming up, guys, so don't go anywhere. Off the Script is just getting started, and Off the Script is going to remain scorching hot all weekend long with your top stories in the world of WWE and all across professional wrestling. If you guys enjoyed it, please hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below. If you guys want more wrestling content, Joe Cronin Show and my man Justin LaBar with his boys Josh Eisenberg and Brian Gulish, Chairshot Reality at WrestleZone.com. Link to their YouTube page and their homepage on WrestleZone. Link down below. If you guys want more LaBar, his personal website, and all access to his social media linked down below. And the fine people over at WrestleCrates, if you guys want to go sign up for monthly subscription boxes of wrestling biblical goodness delivered to your door, go up and sign up right now for WrestleCrates, www.wrestlecrate.com, and go visit them on Twitter right now at WrestleCrates. Gonna be fucking awesome, man. The second crate for May is shaping up to be biblical, so please go and sign up with those guys and tell them that Mr. JD from NY sent you over there, right? Link to them is also down below in the description. This is Off the Script, your #1 source for WWE news or rumors right here on YouTube.com. Like I said, please hit that thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this Friday's top stories right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Thank you for watching, and until then, take care, and I'll talk to you guys later.